Hello, I'm Laura Marshall.
And I'm Melinda Rose, and this is Light Matters for August 22nd, 2012.
On this week's show, the Mars rover's laser zaps its first target. Glasses-free 3D moves closer for consumers and for commercial theaters. Optics and photonics enter the spotlight, and a new optical microscope breaks the Abbe limit.
The chemistry and camera instrument on the Mars rover Curiosity fired its laser for the first time this week, hitting a fist-sized rock dubbed Coronation. ChemCam uses laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy to record spectra from ionized glowing plasma generated by 30 laser pulses directed at a particular rock sample. ChemCam also has a high-resolution camera that provides close-up images of an analyzed location. It can image a human hair from 7 feet away. Its mission is to venture up to 12 miles from its landing site and explore the area for past or present conditions favorable for life and conditions capable of preserving a record of life. The rover is expected to collect, grind, and analyze about 70 samples of soil and rock. The ChemCam laser characterization instrument was developed at Los Alamos National Lab and the French Space Institute IRAP. The goal of this initial firing was to serve as target practice for characterizing the instrument, but the activity may provide additional value. Researchers will check whether the composition changed as the pulses progressed. If it did, that could indicate dust or other surface materials being penetrated to reveal different composition beneath the surface. The spectrometers record intensity at 6,144 different wavelengths of ultraviolet, visible, and infrared light.
And a number of photonics companies contributed to the rover's 10 instruments.
3S Photonics provided the diodes for Curiosity's laser. Ocean Optics customized spectrometers to withstand the temperature changes, vibration, and radiation it will encounter. And Optimax provided its dime-sized optics, just to name a few of those involved.
Curiosity tweeted this weekend that yes, it does have a laser on its head, and no, it is not ill-tempered.
Oh, but you forgot the best part. Hashtag pew pew!
In our next story, 2 research projects aim to make glasses unnecessary for watching 3D movies. A team in South Korea aims to make glasses-free 3D display technology more compact and cost-effective than current 3D projection technology for commercial theaters. They propose replacing today's 2-projector and single-projector systems that require a 3D movie viewer to wear polarizing glasses with a glasses-free one that uses a single front projector and a screen containing a specialized coating that blocks specific states of polarized light. Experimental results show the method can be used successfully in 2 types of 3D displays. The first is the parallax barrier method, which uses a device placed in front of a screen, enabling each eye to see slightly different offset images. The other is integral imaging, which uses a 2-dimensional array of many small lenses or holes to create 3D effects. Next, the team hopes to refine the method and apply it to developing other single-projector frontal methods of 3D display. The technology is still years away from commercial deployment, however. The work appears in Optics Express. In other 3D news, Fraunhofer engineers have developed technology to adapt conventional 3D films to the new 3D TVs appearing on the market. One issue that may be slowing sales of the displays is a lack of content available in 3D. 3D movies currently available on Blu-ray are based on providing 2 different images simultaneously, one for each eye. Autostereoscopic displays, the ones you can see in 3D without glasses, need 5 to 10 views of the same scene to produce the 3D effect. And in the future, such displays will need even more images to enable viewers at various angles to also see the movie in 3D. Researchers at Fraunhofer Institute for Telecommunications Heinrich Hertz Institute in Berlin recently developed technology that converts a Blu-ray's existing 3D content in such a way that they can be shown on autostereoscopic displays. They take the existing 2 images and generate a depth map, and the fully automated process works in real time. Previous systems were only capable of generating such depth maps at a dramatically slower pace, and sometimes they even required manual help.
Wait a minute, so you can start with this system, you can start watching a movie, stop it, rewind, or fast forward, and it will still keep the same 3D quality?
Yeah, they say the software handles everything behind the scenes. Of course, it's going to be at least another year before the technology hits the consumer market. But you can test it yourself at the IFA trade show in Berlin from August 31st to September 5th.
Oh, that makes me want to book my ticket now. In my report last week for Light Matters from SPIE's Optics and Photonics, I told you about the release of the National Academy's update to its 1998 Harnessing Light study. At the show, SPIE held a session featuring the report's co-chairs who shared the current state of optical science and engineering in the U.S. and identified some technological opportunities.
And since then, the Optical Society held a webinar with 5 members of the committee. Here's what member Edward White had to say about the role manufacturing has to play.
I was really pleased to see that manufacturing was a key part of this study. I mean, it was a key part of the 1998 study as well, but I was excited to see that it was going to be a part of this study, and I was thrilled to be a part of it and contribute to it. Manufacturing, I think all of us on the committee, all of us believe that the U.S., to compete going forward, needs to have a strong manufacturing base. I think the challenge for us is to determine what we manufacture and how much of what we manufacture. But clearly everybody on the committee, I think, is definitely a supporter of manufacturing in the U.S. Manufacturing is interesting in that it crosses all of the boundaries, product boundaries, that are in the study. You know, whether you talk about the health segment, the medical segment that Tom just talked about, or whether you talk about energy segment, or you talk about defense, manufacturing plays a key role in all of those.
The report's major recommendation was the forming of a national photonics initiative that combines industry, government, and research organizations, and we'll keep you posted on its development. You can follow the link in this show to a special website OSA has created for all things related to harnessing light.
Using a new optical microscope, researchers in Germany, England, and Spain demonstrated an instrument resolution of 30 nanometers for the first time. By doing so, they delivered fundamental insight into how light and matter interact, which could lead to the development of enhanced biosensors and more efficient solar cells and displays. Normally, the resolution of an optical microscope is limited by Abbe's law of diffraction, but the collaborators broke through this limit using a new technique called angle-dependent cathodoluminescence imaging spectroscopy, which was developed and refined at FOM Institute Eemulf, part of the Netherlands Organization of Scientific Research. The team used this technique to probe the inside of a photonic crystal and study the confinement of light with a spatial resolution more than 10 times smaller than light's diffraction limit. Natural photonic crystals in beautiful iridescent colors can be found in certain species of butterflies, birds, and beetles, as well as in opals. The researchers constructed a two-dimensional photonic crystal by etching a hexagonal pattern of holes in a very thin silicon nitride membrane. The crystal inhibits light propagation for certain colors, which leads to strong reflection of those colors. By leaving out one hole, a very small cavity can be defined where the surrounding crystal acts as a mirror for the light, making it possible to strongly confine light within what's known as a crystal defect cavity. These resonant cavities are so small that it is impossible to resolve all of the important features of the confined light using a conventional optical microscope. The team used a 5 nanometer wide beam from a scanning electron microscope to study the crystal, generating light inside the cavity. The emitted light carries the optical signature of the cavity and was used to study its properties with an unprecedented level of detail, resolving features down to 30 nanometers. In the future, the team thinks 10 nanometers is achievable. The instrument's being commercialized by the startup Delmic and is expected to appear on the market this fall. The research appears in Nature Materials.
Well, that's it for this edition of Light Matters, the industry's only weekly newscast.
We'd like to thank a viewer who wrote to us from Brazil and said we're doing awesome work and that the show is extremely informative, and thanked us for sharing.
We'd also like to hear from you. Tell us what you like or don't like about our program. We welcome your comments and suggestions at lightmatters@photonics.com.
You'll find links to share and subscribe to Light Matters by clicking the Share with Friends button on our video player.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.